Peace, love, and wholeness to balanced vibrations to you all. Welcome to Gemini Moon Media and Astrology, or Astrology and Media. Here we believe in becoming the greatest version of ourselves through understanding ourselves through the lens of astrology. Self knowledge is what we need to heal the world, and this is what we offer here at Gemini Moon Astrology and Media. Fucking mixed up my words the first time. I'm human. um, I'm human. Look. And so that's actually a great way to start off this video because this is going to be for the new moon in Aquarius on the 24th. New moon in Aquarius, what can I say? Um, what can I say about this, you guys? First of all, thank you again. Thank you for stepping into this channel. At the end of this video, or at the beginning, please like, share, subscribe. If you find that this resonates with you, and you feel that it could be useful for somebody else. But I just want to go ahead and say, this new moon in Aquarius is very, very... It's almost what do you say, this polarity or paradox to even say how important this is, because every day of our lives is important. Every day of our life means something. Everything means something. And the thing about Aquarius energy is very, very radical. It's disruptive. It's about change, and it's about really, really attuning to a higher frequency. Aquarius people are those who are either have the energy of the underdog or stand up for the underdog. Aquarius really does fit the blueprint of the step parent or the stepfather or a step parent. The humanitarian. Those who will stand up for a cause, not necessarily to fight against something, but Aquarius fights for something. Aquarius has a cause. Aquarius has a very just cause. And Aquarius leads their life by this certain cause. Whether people can see this physically or not, there is a certain awareness. There's a huge, awareness is very, very greatly is a concept, is a theme in Aquarius lives about how aware they are of themselves, and how aware they are of other people, and how that creates relationship. You know what I mean? This new moon in Aquarius on the 24th is about seeding in new potential for new innovation, for new radical change, for us to really become the greatest version of ourselves. Aquarius represents the technology in our lives. It represents the age of enlightenment. We are moving into this, what they call, or what has been seeded as the new age, which really, really is your soul blueprint waking up and you becoming the greatest version of yourself that stretches past the norm and convention and what the status quo is. This is the time where new business innovation, new ways of making money, new ways of expressing love. You understand what I'm saying? Aquarius really, really is what people would call the radical and weirdo. The radical weirdo. So this is how I'm choosing to personify this energy, and that's a lot of what Aquarius is. Aquarius is very much a leader in its own way, in its own right. And Aquarius really, really is about how to personify ideas, how to personify and give legs and arms and a head and a construct to what seems like a new idea, or what is the new construct, or something that is far out there, or something that is very future oriented. You know what I mean? And it's almost hard to talk about this energy because we're literally up in it. We're literally bursting through the seams into this energy. The age of, well, not the age of Scorpio, but the energy of Scorpio, you know what I mean? The dark and hidden, the provocative, radical, Scorpio can be just as, if not more radical than than Aquarius. Um, Scorpio just does it more in a more hidden, coded way, coated. Aquarius is much more about groups and cultures and socialism. Very very much about socialism and having an understanding of the overall makeup of things, so that you can have more control. You know what I'm saying? It's about maturity. Um, the 11th house of Aquarius rules over friends and groups, colleagues, and clubs, memberships, um, where you feel most free, where you feel most free and, like, I guess, where you feel like Aquarius is very, very much don't go where you're tolerated, go where you're celebrated. So this is about kind of soul, our soul groups, where we feel we have the most, where we generate the most power from. This is about where we can truly generate the most potential based off of common thinking, like-mindedness, like-minded community. A big thing about the age of Aquarius is understanding and cracking through taboo. You know, um, Aquarius is the mental realm, but Aquarius is also the water bearer. So I guess my space right now in this time that I'm taking to explain this is to help people really step into their true power by understanding knowledge of self. And that is what Aquarius is all about. Like, Aquarius kind of has this very, very bland, kind of very standoffish energy. And it's not that Aquarius is innately standoffish or mean, but Aquarius has found their place. Aquarius knows their place in this world, whether you identify as, a lot of what Aquarius is about identity and how you identify. Whether you identify as black, whether you identify as white, or whatever ethnic background you identify with. Aquarius makes that choice. Aquarius makes that choice to identify. Um, and they're given these pathways. Like, Aquarius is given a lot of pathways. Like, many Aquarius people will be explorers, like very explorative, astronaut, religion, different philosophies, trying on different outfits, if you will, to see which one fits. And so a lot of Aquarius's quirkiness, you know, um, is very, very geared, is already instilled. So the quirkiness is like something that Aquarius is learning to shift through, to find their most pure and authentic nature. That's the thing about Aquarius. I think about Aquarius season, when the sun is in Aquarius, is that we do start to kind of fine tune our nature and what is the most, what benefits us the most. You know what I mean? What benefits us the most in life, and it's not as emotionally charged as maybe like Scorpio or like, Cancer. Aquarius being the water bearer, but being an air sign, what I'm saying, is very detached, because it understands, like, Aquarius is about the genius, like how do we achieve and break through our glass ceilings to get to the genius in our life. You know what I mean? What is the genius? What is the spark? What makes us special? That's how we find our soul group. That's how we find where we most identify, where we find most power and resources, and where we gain the most, where we get the most, because the opposite of Aquarius is Leo, which is love that's given. But Aquarius is love that is received. So it's about, where do we receive the most? Where do we receive the most love? Where do we receive the most adventure? What truly sparks us? It's a point of maturity, maturation. Uranus is all about breakthrough, and it's about change and disruption, and stripping things back, to simplicity, and what makes, us most, what makes us feel most at ease, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Air, fixed air, um, where do we find our most vitality? Where do we eat from, in a sense? What are we taking in, and what are we giving out? And how do we create residual, how do we store energy through that, you know? So that all goes into our groups, our communities, our social setting. Where do we find the most pleasure? You know, where we find the most authentic and real, where are we most embraced, and what are we willing to embrace? So for many people, this is going to break up relationships. This is going to break up job situations, career, how we feel that we can make money. Um, you know, Aquarius is all about the freakish nature, and the thing about Aquarius, and us moving into the age of Aquarius, is that we're finding more of these tendencies. We're fine tuning these tendencies to live out loud and be different, dare to be different. You know, Aquarius is very much, I dare to be different, you know. But Aquarius wants to come and, in a way, manipulate reality, you know, and fine tune its reality. Like, Aquarius definitely is a super psychic magician. Like, Aquarius is ridiculous. Like, the power that we generate through the Aquarian nature is unlike anything that we could ever experience just with taking stuff at face value. You know, like, that's the thing about Aquarius. You know, there is this egotistical nature, but it's because of they've gained knowledge of self. Like, Aquarius has gained so much knowledge of self that they find that they don't really need anybody. Like, Aquarius becomes the person that they want in their life. You know, and that's the thing about Aquarius, is that we step into the greatest version of ourselves based off of what we know, based off of everything we've been through. You know, we've hit a peak, we've hit a period of almost bliss, you know, going towards the bliss, and kind of rummaging through those chests and drawers of our childlike nature to find the most pure, authentic expression. You know what I mean? It's really, really about God, the God force in our life. Aquarius is the God force in our life, you know. And like my uncle, who's an Aquarius, he said the other day, you know, love is whatever you want it to be, which I thought was so interesting, because that's a concept I know well. But I also know that love has to be given a shape and a form. And so many Aquarius people, you know, Aquarius is compared or depicted as the androgynous being, you know, male and female, but neither male nor female, a cosmic being, an angelic being. You know, one who is here to kind of bridge together the gaps between humanity and help us to gain more common ground, more commonality, more social control between groups. Like, you know, Aquarius kind of goes outside of governmental, I guess, perspective. You know, this is my Aquarian nature. I can't even talk. And I'm sure Moses, who was a stutterer, was an Aquarius. Yes. Really bridging together different perspectives, you know, so that we can create common themes, you know, that really serve humanity. Like, Aquarius is about service to humanity, you know. So I've talked for 13 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards to kind of, for all the signs, Aries through Pisces, and really work our way into what the new goal is, you know, what the new goal, and how we are not expressing our highest version of self, you know. We have all of this energy happening in the 12th house of Aquarius, which is in Capricorn. So there's definitely something here about, you know, personal breakthroughs, and I'm hearing enchantment, you know, enchanting worlds, this type of gypsy quality, you know what I mean? Very provocative, very sexually creative, definitive tones I'm hearing, you know, definitive tones, setting a new tempo of becoming a conscious creator. Because Aquarius really is all about the higher nature, you know, and bridging that with our lower nature, our animalistic nature, so that we can kind of really stand up against those forces. And I think that people don't understand that there's a spiritual war every day. There's a spiritual war on our minds, you know, a spiritual war from a child. We go through spiritual attack. And, you know, this new moon in Aquarius is helping us to see new inspiration, so that we can start to consciously express this new energy that's coming in. You know, And this is going to be about how we live our lives and how we now shape our lives, shaping our life, becoming the master builder of our lives, but letting it be on our own terms, what we love, what we choose to embrace. So I have here for the first card, Healing Begins. Healing Begins, which is Six of Cups. I think that's Six of Cups. It may be Six of Swords. And then we also have, which is Three of Wands, Take the Lead. Take the lead. Take the lead. So immediately what I know about these two cards, without even getting too deep into it, is that once we start to, take control of our lives, once we start to really define our own unique truths, that is where the true healing will begin. But before that happens, we have to unravel and unpackage the boxes that we've been in, that we've confined ourselves. Aquarius is not about confinement at all. Aquarius is about freedom. Aquarius is about the freedom to choose your path, to choose who you're going to be. And like in the Bible, to choose who ye this day you're going to serve. That's why Aquarius deals so much in personal identity. It has a personal will that it knows serves its highest destiny, its highest quality. So this is really, really about tuning into our God force, tuning into the nature of our ancestors, going back. Six, healing begins when we open up to the path. You know what I mean? When we open up to the path. This is about opening our heart. Six of Cups has to do with nostalgia, childlike memories from your hometown, old lovers, old friends. And then we have here Take the Lead, which is Three of Wands, which is about now not playing it safe anymore, but seeing how far, going the distance, taking the lead in love, stepping out on faith, stepping out on your intuition, and starting to really, I'm seeing an image of The Masked Singer. If anybody has watched that show, The Masked Singer, there's something to that. There's something to that, The Masked Singer. That's very, very Aquarian. I'm seeing Michelle Williams, who's a Leo, as the butterfly. And that is a lot. Oh my God. This energy of the Aquarius new moon is really like the butterfly leaving its cocoon. It's like with the Six of Cups, there is a sense of joy. There's a sense of connecting your truth to the past and really, really kind of going back to your roots and allowing that to envelope you in love. Allow that to envelope you in love. It's like really take the energy of where you come from. Where do you come from? This is ethnic-based, race-based, sexuality-based. Really take the energy of where you come from and see how you can really create a mixture. The healing is going to come from mixing things up. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of the Aquarian nature revolves around the mechanics of sexuality, the LGBTQ community. That is a very Aquarian group. You understand what I'm saying? So it's about really, I guess, patching together. So for many of you, you may come into contact with people from the past, people that can give you pause and help you to take a breather, and people who will stop you in your tracks, who will say, hey, look, this is who you are. Like, I know you way back when, you know what I mean? And let's go back there right now. You know what I mean? Like people, like Six of Cups has to do with like soul unions and, childhood memories, nostalgia, receiving help, receiving confirmation of something, receiving more clues into who you are. And so a lot of this is about soul blueprints from past lives. We're about to awaken up to soul blueprints from past lives. And for many people, who identify as shamans and way showers, like Aquarius is very much a way shower. to the public, to people, to the people that it embraces, and that embrace them. I look at Aquarius as like Rafiki in Lion King. That is a very shaman Aquarian type of thing. You know what I mean? And there goes Leo again, the lion. So this is very, very much about soul group, like personal manifestation. Bridging together timelines. This is about magic. Taking the lead would be Three of Wands. So right here is kind of envisioning a new future and acting on it. This is about performing acts of faith now, performing magic, performing astrology, performing your tarot card readings, really letting people know who you are. For many people, for many of us, this is the moment, like the Wizard of. This is a uncocooning. This is a breaking free of the cocoons we've been in. This is what I get when I look at these three cards. With these two cards. Excuse me, I said three. Maybe I need to pull a third one out of here. So for many people, it's time to take your own advice. I feel that this very strongly. Like, for this new moon Aquarius, it's about becoming the greatest version of ourselves. And so it's a very, very personally, very, very kind of almost egotistically based new moon. Because becoming the best version of yourself does require ego, does take you to believe past what you can see. You know what I mean? Think about rappers, think about hip hop artists, or that's a good example. But even think about hip hop artists. Okay, these hip hop artists, many people who do hip hop, when they come out of the hood, they're rapping about money, cars, and clothes, and rapping about things that they don't even have. But they believe it so much, and they just speak that gift of gab so much, that they manifest the things that they're talking about in some way, shape, or form. So this new moon is really about manifestation, manifesting your greatest self, aligning your five senses, aligning your physiology, your self-talk with the greatest version of yourself, with God, nature. Taking the lead, not being afraid, stepping off in courage, being encouraged, stepping off with the fuel, stepping with everything that you have. Fear, love, loss, pain, and shame, and going out and being like, this is who I am, and being honest about it. And that's where the real healing will begin for this new moon. This new moon is asking us to be honest with ourselves and to really abstain from everything that delays us from really being in holy matrimony with ourselves right now. Awaiting results. So, and the thing about it is, you have to ask yourself, is the person that I've been conducive to who I want to be? Is the person that I am now conducive to where I want to be? Period. If you have a dream that keeps you up at night all through the day, and you're thinking and thinking about it, I bet you it's gnawing at you because it's nudging you to get into alignment with who you are supposed to be. I had to go ahead today and make a judgment call, like a quick judgment call, and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and email this person. I'm going to go ahead and text this person. I'm going to go ahead and DM this person because I've been thinking about it for so long, but I didn't act on it, and I was afraid. I was afraid of rejection. I was afraid of being put out there. And think about Aquarius. Aquarius deals with rejection. I think Aquarius has that fear of rejection. If I put this out there, like that's why a lot of time Aquarius will seem very standoffish, because it's like if I put my whole self out there, I leave myself vulnerable. And I think Aquarius has a hard time with being vulnerable, but they can only be vulnerable with the right person. So when I see take the lead, I think of courage. I see that there's been a lot of thoughts, and now it's time to snap out of it, snap out of the dream, and go ahead and live that thing. And that's where you'll find the healing. For many of you, when you Like, I think a lot of people right now are afraid of rejection, are afraid to really put up, and for many of you could be feeling this way, rigid, going through a crisis, afraid of how you're gonna look. And it's like that healing, that great connection that you want, you know, that love, that nostalgia, that this the room of lights and you know, reflective mirrors, you know, what you want to see out in the world, you have to become. You know what I'm saying? So that takes stepping out on faith. That takes becoming that thing, doing something differently. And then awaiting results. Awaiting results. So this is definitely requiring you to go within and go within for deep introspection, you know, and ask yourself, is everything that I've given, has it produced any good fruit? If not, it's time to go and take a risk. With your arms wide open, break free of your cocoons and your restraints and step through that door, step through that womb. You know, it's like we're coming out of this womb phase. You know, Capricorn being the 12th house to Aquarius, you know, it's feminine. There's a womb, mothering nature, you know, this womb material. And it's really about shedding that cocoon. You know, we're stepping into the greatest version of ourselves. We're stepping into the age of enlightenment, the age of Aquarius, where we're now seeding, and this we're seeding different things. We're seeding the new. We're seeding the new earth, the new expression of love, the new conscious creation. It's time to step up your game, step up your frequency, let your freak flag wave. You know, Aquarius is freaky and quirky, you know, even a little egotistical. So put yourself out there, you know, and be brave and bold about it. You know, come to grips with reality that's before you and understand that all things must change. You know, so best believe if you're in integrity, if you're moving with the times, the seeds that you sow will produce a harvest. Okay? So I just want to go ahead and say that. I'm going to go ahead and pull one card from the tarot as an overall message. You know, for many of you, this is about putting your faith in new things, putting your faith in an individual, you know. Don't allow yourself to be broken, you know. Don't allow yourself to be broken. It's okay to step into the greatest version of yourself now. Wherever you are, wherever you may find yourself, be content and be the greatest version of yourself. Because best believe someone is waiting for you to step out on faith and start that thing. Someone's waiting for you to say, I'm an astrologer, I'm a psychic, I'm an empath, or, you know, I'm depressed. Hey, I'm depressed too. You know, can you show me how you've come this far along your path of depression? That is the real truth. That is the real, raw, honest truth. That's Aquarius, real, raw, honest truth. Okay, wow. And we have the High Priestess. High Priestess, whoa. Wow, this is going to be very... And then we have the World. Completion. I'm hearing completion rituals. And then dreams. Dreams, dreams, dreams. I'm hearing start a foundation. There's an energy of a nonprofit organization. Many of you may be wanting to start certain things, certain initiatives. Many of you are looking over certain paperwork or signing off paperwork on things, you know, authorizing new things. There's something here about authorizing new things, authorizing new marriage. There's something here about marriage, but not necessarily physical marriage, but soul marriage, you know, marrying somebody, being married to something, you know, getting married, you know. The World is about completion and signing off on something, completion of a cycle, completion of a certain parity, parody, a certain paradigm. You know, this is a powerful energy. The high priestess is like that greatest version of ourself, you know, that is holding the space for the change, you know. Prayer, introspection, chanting, inner knowing, knowledge. You know what I mean? The moon, Cancer. Yeah. This is definitely about deep soul paths opening up. And for many people, you got to start believing in past lives. You got to know that you have a spiritual soul blueprint. You're here for a purpose. The World card is very Saturnic in nature. Saturnic, time and restriction. And you're being now opened up. There's a certain timeline that is being closed and being signed off on in a way. There's something being signed by the angels in heaven to remove certain things out of your path. You're done with certain things. Certain things are completed, over, and finished. The high priest is asking you to use discernment and inner knowing, you know. Chant, ask your guides for peace. Ask your guides to show you the way. You know, right now we're in a space where we're being shown the way. And for many of us to be shown the way, it's just to start taking those steps. You got to just start taking those steps, you know, with the faith that just because you can't see the whole staircase doesn't mean that you'll fall. And know that if you fall, you're supported, you know. So this is the energy I get from especially these two cards. We're opening up like some type of, there's a portal. There are portals opening up in our mind. There's portals. There's high vibratory energy. There's higher insight, psychic awareness, empathic awareness, you know. This is about heavenly authority, you know, in our lives, being stripped of everything we've known now to go into the unknown completely. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this. I'm gonna go ahead at the bottom of this video, put my link to my Patreon page. So my Patreon page is gonna be basically, you know, it's customer based. When you go to my Patreon link, you will see a description of, you know, who I am, the services I'm offering. The Patreon is basically going to be where more exclusive content is going to be. And, you know, I can get paid for my work. I can be compensated. And you guys get great content, more exclusive content. You know, I want to be able to service people the best way I can, but I can't do it with nothing and without the resources to be able to continue to supply myself, so I can continue to keep giving messages and greater messages. You know, this is about manifestation, and this is about me manifesting my greatest self. So I want to be able to help people to also do that with the information I provide. But it's going to require funds. It's going to require support. So thank you guys so much. This is Gemini Moon Astrology and Media. Please like, share, and subscribe this video for all those who resonated with it. New Moon in Aquarius, January the 24th. Stepping into our greatest manifestation, becoming the greatest version of ourselves. Peace.